The cold night and the last hope. The night was dark and cold. A thick layer of snow covered the ground and the wind blew hard through the empty trees. The stars were hidden behind thick clouds, and there was no light for miles. In this quiet and lonely place, a woman sat on the cold ground. Her clothes were thin and worn, not enough to keep her warm. In her arms she held a small child. The child was shaking badly. His little body was freezing, his lips turning blue. The mother's heart was breaking as she looked down at him. She tried to wrap him in her thin shawl again and again, but the cold air kept coming inside. The night was unforgiving. She whispered softly, "Please stay with me, my little one." Her voice was weak but full of love. She began to sing a lullaby, a song her own mother once sang to her. The melody was slow and gentle, hoping to calm the child and maybe warm his frozen body. "Sleep, my child. The night is long. Dream of warmth where you belong. Close your eyes. The stars will shine. Soon the dawn will be divine." Her voice shook with every word. The wind took her song away, but she kept singing. She did not want to stop, not now. Her arms were tired, but she held the child tightly. The mother looked around. Everything was still. The cold had made the forest silent except for the wind. She had been walking for days, looking for help, for shelter, for anything to save her child. But no one was around. No lights, no voices, no signs of life. Only the endless snow and trees. Her mind went back to the beginning of their journey. They had lived in a small village once, but something terrible happened. The village was attacked and many people disappeared. The mother did not know why or who was responsible. She only knew she had to run with her child, to find safety. Now, in this strange and frozen place, she felt alone. But she would not give up. She looked down at the child again. His breathing was slow, almost stopping. The cold was killing him. She whispered, "Please hold on, I will find someone, I promise." Suddenly she heard a noise. A soft sound, like footsteps in the snow. Her heart jumped. She held the child closer, eyes wide and alert. The footsteps grew louder, slow, but sure. Someone was coming. She looked into the dark trees. A shadow moved between the trunks. Her breath froze for a moment. Should she call for help? Should she stay quiet and hide? The stranger could be dangerous. Or maybe the only hope she had? Her mind raced. She could not lose her child now. She took a deep breath and stood up slowly, holding the child tightly. The shadow came closer. She could see the shape of a person, a man. He wore strange clothes, not like any she had seen before. His jacket had lights and strange signs. He carried a small device that glowed faintly. "Please," she said softly, her voice trembling. "Can you help us? My child is very cold." The man stopped and looked at her carefully. His eyes were kind but serious. He spoke in a calm voice. "I am here to help. Come with me. I have something that can warm your child." The mother felt hope for the first time in many days. She did not know who this man was or where he came from, but she had no choice. She nodded and took the child in her arms. The man reached out, his hand, and guided them through the snow. His steps were sure, as if he knew the way well. The mother watched him closely, her heart still pounding with fear and hope. After a few minutes, they reached a small cave hidden behind some large rocks. Inside, a soft light glowed warmly. The air was warmer here, and the mother felt a little relief. The man set down a small box and opened it. Inside were strange machines and glowing panels. He carefully placed the child on a soft blanket and used the devices to create heat around him. The mother watched, almost unable to breathe. The child's lips slowly changed color from blue to pink. His body stopped shaking. "He is safe now," the man said softly. "But he needs time to recover." The mother wiped tears from her eyes. She looked at the man with gratitude and fear. "Thank you," she whispered. The man smiled gently. "You are not alone anymore. We will help you both." Outside, the cold night still waited, but inside the cave, there was hope. A small light in the darkness. The mother sat beside her child, holding his hand. feeling the warmth slowly return. She did not know what would come next, but for now, she had one last hope. The stranger's arrival. The cold cave was quiet except for the faint hum of strange machines. The mother sat close to her child, watching his chest rise and fall slowly. The warmth from the man's device began to chase away the deep chill that had taken over the little boy's body. But the mother's mind was still full of questions and fear. Who was this stranger? Where had he come from? Why was he helping them? The man sat a few feet away, quietly watching them, but his eyes held secrets she could not read. The mother wanted to speak, but her throat was dry and heavy. After a long moment, the stranger finally spoke. "You are safe here for now," he said calmly, "but the night outside is dangerous." His voice was low but steady, like he had seen much and survived worse. The mother looked at him closely. His face was tired, with lines that showed years of struggle. His clothes were strange, covered with patches and symbols she did not understand. The small glowing device on his belt blinked softly like a heartbeat. "Why are you here?" she asked softly, still holding her child close. The man looked away for a moment, then back at her. "I come from a place far from here, a place where people fight to survive every day. I have seen many things, good and bad. When I found you in the snow, I knew you needed help." His words made the mother curious but also more afraid. "What kind of place? Who are you?" He paused, then said, "I am part of a group called the Watchers. We protect those who are lost and fight against the darkness that grows outside." His eyes darkened with pain and urgency. "But even we are not safe anymore." The mother's heart beat faster. "Darkness? What darkness?" The stranger leaned closer. "There are forces in this world, powers that want to destroy what little good remains. They hunt families like yours and mine. They want control and they do not care about life." The mother felt a cold shiver run down her spine, but inside the cave the warmth was strong enough to hold the fear at bay. "Why did you help us?" she asked again. The man's eyes softened. "Because every life matters. Your child has a future even if you cannot see it now, but you must be ready. The danger is closer than you think." At that moment the child stirred and opened his eyes. The mother smiled weakly, relief flooding her heart. The stranger reached out gently and touched the child's forehead. He is stronger now, the warmth is working. Outside the wind howled like a wild beast banging against the cave walls. The man's face grew serious again. "We don't have much time. You cannot stay here long. The darkness will find us." The mother's mind raced. She wanted to protect her child no matter what. "What do we do?" The stranger stood up and began packing his strange devices into a small bag. "We move. You will come with me. I will take you to a safe place. A place where you can heal, and where the Watchers still fight." She looked at her child, then back to the man. Fear and hope fought inside her. Could she trust this stranger? Was this really a chance to survive? The man noticed her hesitation. "I will not lie to you. The journey will be hard. There are dangers everywhere, but it is better than waiting here for the cold to take him." The mother swallowed her fear. "Then we will go. I will follow you." As they stepped out of the cave into the freezing night, the stranger held a small glowing orb. It lit their path with a soft blue light. The snow crunched under their feet. Shadows moved in the distance, shapes that neither of them could clearly see. The man whispered, "They watch from the darkness. We must be quick and silent." The mother tightened her grip on her child. Every sound made her jump. Her eyes searched the black forest for any sign of danger. The trees seemed alive, their branches twisting like claws reaching out. Suddenly a low growl echoed nearby. The stranger stopped and raised a hand. The growl stopped. Silence returned. But the mother's heart pounded louder than ever. "What was that?" she whispered. "One of the hunters," the man said quietly. "They are creatures twisted by the darkness. They smell fear and weakness. We must not let them find us. The mother's skin prickled. She wished she could run, but she had to stay strong for her child. They moved faster, following the orb's light through the endless white. After what felt like hours, they reached a small clearing. In the center stood an old metal door, half buried in snow and vines. The man pressed a hidden button, and the door slowly opened with a hiss. "This is the entrance to the safe zone," he said. "Inside, you will find others like you. People who want to fight and survive." The mother looked inside. Faint lights glowed from within, and she could hear soft voices. Hope grew inside her like a small fire. She stepped inside, the child still in her arms, and felt a warmth that was more than just from machines. It was the warmth of safety, of possibility. But even inside, the man warned, "We must stay alert. The darkness never rests." The mother nodded, her heart filled with new courage. This was only the beginning of their fight. The child's condition, the safe zone, was not like anything the mother had ever imagined. Inside the metal door, the cold air gave way to a warm, dimly lit space carved into the side of a mountain. Soft lights flickered on the walls, and quiet voices echoed down narrow halls. People moved carefully, their faces tired but determined. The mother clutched her child tightly, her eyes searching for answers in this strange new world. The stranger led her through the corridors, past groups of men and women who nodded quietly, but said nothing. Their eyes told stories of loss and hope, of battles fought and scars earned. The mother felt a mix of fear and relief. This place was safe, for now. But she knew the darkness outside was waiting. They reached a small room filled with strange machines and glowing screens. The stranger gently laid the child down on a soft bed covered with warm blankets. He pulled out a device shaped like a thin wand and moved it slowly over the boy's chest. Soft beeps came from the machine beside him. "His condition is serious," the man said quietly. The cold almost stopped his heart. "We need to act fast." The mother's breath caught in her throat. "Will he live?" "I cannot promise," the stranger said honestly. "But we have technology here that can help him recover. The problem is it will take time and energy, and that energy comes with a cost." The mother looked confused and scared. "What cost?" The man's eyes darkened. "The safe zone runs on a limited power source. Every device we use drains it. If we use too much, the defenses will weaken. And if the defenses fail..." His voice trailed off. The mother felt a cold wave of fear wash over her. She wanted to save her child, but she did not want to put others in danger. "What can I do?" she asked, desperate. "Rest," the man said softly. "You need to stay strong. This place is safe only if everyone plays their part." As the hours passed, the child's breathing grew steadier. The warmth from the machine spread through his body like a gentle fire. The mother sat by his side, holding his small hand and watching every rise and fall of his chest. But the stranger's warning lingered in her mind. The cost of saving her child was unknown and frightening. Late into the night, strange noises echoed through the safe zone. Distant alarms, soft whispers over radios, and hurried footsteps. The mother looked up, alarmed. The stranger appeared at the door, his face grim. "We have trouble," he said quietly. "The darkness has found a way inside." Panic rose in the mother's chest. "Inside? How?" "There are spies," he said. "People who work for the darkness. They hide among us. Their goal is to weaken the safe zone from within." The mother hugged her child tightly. "What will happen now?" "We must be careful," the stranger said. "Everyone must stay alert. If the darkness breaks through, this place will fall." Over the next hours, the safe zone was filled with tension. Soldiers patrolled halls, scanning every face. Doors were locked tight. The mother could hear whispered rumors of a traitor, but no one knew who. The child, though weak, showed small signs of strength. He opened his eyes and smiled once. The mother's heart soared, but beneath the hope, a shadow grew. The darkness was not just outside anymore. It was inside, waiting. The mother knew she had to be strong, not just for her child, but for everyone depending on the safe zone. The fight was far from over, and the true danger was still hidden in the shadows. As she looked around the dim room, she wondered who she could trust. Every face could hide a secret. Every shadow could hide a threat. And the child's life depended on her courage. The strange technology, the safe zone, hummed with quiet urgency. Outside the metal walls, the cold night raged on, but inside, every heartbeat felt louder, every shadow deeper. The mother watched her child lying on the soft bed, now warmer and breathing more steadily. Still, the stranger's warning weighed heavily on her mind. There was a cost to this safety, and the darkness was closer than ever. The stranger returned to the room carrying a strange device. It looked like a small box with tubes and glowing panels unlike anything the mother had ever seen. He set it down carefully beside the child. "This is the warmth generator," he explained. "It uses a special energy to keep him alive." The mother leaned forward, her eyes wide. "Special energy? What kind?" The man hesitated. "It's a form of power created from a rare source. It can save lives but drains the safe zone's energy supply quickly." The mother's heart sank. "What happens if you run out of energy?" The stranger's face grew serious. "The defenses will fail. The dark forces waiting outside will break through, and then no one here will be safe." He touched a panel, and the machine started to glow brighter. Soft warmth spread from the device, and the child's body relaxed. "This technology is advanced but dangerous," the man said. "We use it only when necessary." The mother nodded, biting her lip. Saving her child was worth any risk. As hours passed, the mother noticed something strange. The safe zone's lights flickered, and distant alarms occasionally sounded. People hurried through the halls whispering about power shortages and suspicious activity. One night, as she sat watching her child, the stranger returned with a grave look. "We have a problem," he said. "The power source is unstable. Someone may be sabotaging us from inside." The mother's eyes widened. "Sabotage? Who would do that?" "We don't know yet," he said. "But if the power fails, this machine will stop, and your child could freeze again." Panic gripped her chest. She could not lose him, not now after coming this far. The stranger placed a hand on her shoulder. "We have to find the traitor and fix the power. I will organize a search." Days passed with the mother torn between hope and fear. The child grew stronger but still needed the warmth generator. Every flicker of light sent her heart racing. One evening, the stranger came to her with a small device, a communicator. "I want you to have this," he said. "If you see or hear anything strange, tell me immediately. We need everyone alert." She took it nervously, feeling the weight of responsibility. In this place, trust was fragile and danger hid everywhere. Then, late one night, a sudden explosion shook the safe zone. Alarms blared and lights went out in many sections. The warmth generator flickered dangerously. The mother rushed to her child, panic rising. The stranger appeared, trying to stabilize the machine. "The power grid is failing," he shouted. "The darkness is attacking." Outside, strange shapes moved, shadows slipping through cracks in the walls. Soldiers armed themselves, preparing for battle. The mother held her child tightly, her eyes searching the darkness. Fear was sharp, but beneath it burned a fierce hope, a will to fight and survive. As the night stretched on, the safe zone became a battlefield of light and shadow, technology and terror, and the mother realized the fight was not just for her child's life but for everyone's future. A dark secret. The battle inside the safe zone left the mother shaken but alive. The explosions had stopped, and the walls stood firm, but the air was thick with fear. People whispered in corners, eyes full of suspicion. The darkness was not just outside anymore, it had touched their home, leaving scars deeper than the ones on the walls. The mother sat by her child, whose breathing was steady but still weak. The warmth generator hummed softly, but the threat lingered. The stranger watched the door closely, his face drawn and tired. "There is something you need to know," he said quietly, breaking the heavy silence. The mother looked up, her heart pounding. "This safe zone was built after the first great fall," the stranger began. A time when the world changed forever. We lost cities, families, and hope. But worse than that were the creatures, twisted beings born from the darkness that spread like a plague. The mother's eyes widened. Creatures? Yes, he said. They are not human anymore. They hunt the living, taking what they want with no mercy. They have spies inside this zone. Some people here are not what they seem. Her breath caught. She looked around at the tired faces passing by. Could someone she trusted be a traitor? Why do they want us? She asked. Because we are the last hope, he said. Our power, our strength, it threatens the darkness. They want to destroy that hope to take over completely. The mother felt a cold dread settle over her. The child's fragile life was tied to a war much bigger than she imagined. What can we do? She asked, voice shaking. We must find the traitors and fight back, the stranger said firmly. But it will not be easy. The darkness corrupts everything it touches, even people's hearts. Days passed in tense silence. The safe zones, leaders held meetings behind closed doors. Soldiers increased patrols. No one trusted anyone fully. One evening, the mother heard a soft knock on her door. The stranger stood there, looking grim. Come with me, he said. There is something you must see. They moved quickly through hidden passages until they reached a small room. Inside was a holographic map of the safe zone, flickering with red dots marking recent activity. These are the areas where the darkness's spies were seen, he explained. And here, he pointed to a blinking dot near the power core. We found evidence of sabotage. The mother swallowed hard. The power core was the heart of their safety. Who is behind this? She asked. Someone close, the stranger said. Someone we never suspected. He turned to her, eyes serious. We need your help. You have the courage and the will to face the truth no matter how hard. The mother nodded, feeling the weight of a new responsibility. She had to protect her child and everyone in the safe zone. That night she stayed awake, listening to every sound. The darkness had many faces, and she would find them all, even if it meant risking everything. Because the fight was no longer just for survival. It was for the soul of their world. The decision to escape the safe zone was no longer safe. After the discovery of spies and sabotage, fear wrapped itself around every heart like a cold, heavy chain. The mother felt it too, tightening inside her chest every time footsteps echoed nearby or a shadow flickered past. Her child was growing stronger, but the danger was closing in fast. The stranger gathered the leaders in a tense meeting deep underground. The mother stood near the back, listening to words that felt like thunder. Our defenses are failing, the stranger said. The darkness is relentless. It will break through sooner or later. Staying here means certain death. A murmur ran through the group. Some argued to fight, others to hide. But the stranger's voice cut through like steel. There is one option left. Escape. We must leave the safe zone before it falls. The mother's heart raced. Escape meant leaving everything behind. Friends, shelter, the only place her child had known. But staying meant risking everything, including her child's life. Where would we go? She asked quietly. There is a hidden refuge far to the east, the stranger said. A place untouched by the darkness, guarded by those still free. It is a long journey through wild lands and hostile territory. The mother looked at her child, peaceful for now in his sleep. She swallowed her fear and nodded. We will go, she said. For him. Preparations began quickly. The safe zone buzzed with hurried footsteps and whispered plans. Weapons were gathered, supplies packed, and routes mapped under flickering lights. The mother felt the weight of every step. She was not just running for herself or her child. She was running for hope. When the time came to leave, the air outside was cold and biting. The sky was a blanket of black, broken only by distant flashes of lightning. The stranger led the small group through hidden tunnels and out into the wilderness. The snow crunched beneath their feet. Every sound was loud in the silent night. Eyes scanned the darkness for danger. The journey was harder than the mother expected. The cold bed into her skin, and exhaustion clawed at her limbs. Her child's small body was fragile, and every step risked his health. But the stranger never wavered. His knowledge of the land and careful planning kept them moving. Days passed with little rest. Strange noises haunted the forests, howls, distant cries, and the rustling of unseen creatures. The group moved in tight formation, weapons ready. One night, as they camped near a frozen river, the mother awoke to a chilling scream. She grabbed her child and saw shadows moving quickly in the distance. "Attack!" the stranger whispered urgently. The group scrambled, lighting fires and readying weapons. Shapes emerged from the darkness, twisted figures, half human, half monster, eyes glowing with hunger. The battle was fierce. The mother fought beside the stranger, fear fueling her strength. Arrows flew, swords clashed, and the cold night was filled with the cries of fight and pain. When dawn finally broke, the creatures had retreated, but the group was battered and weary. The mother held her child close, tears freezing on her cheeks. She realized the journey was far from over. Every step forward was a fight for survival. Yet beneath the fear, hope glowed brighter. They had escaped the safe zone, escaped the darkness for now, and the promise of a new beginning waited at the journey's end. The new beginning, the long journey through frozen forests and dangerous lands, had changed them all. The mother, her child, and the stranger stood at the edge of a vast valley as the first light of dawn spread across the sky. Below them lay the refuge, a hidden sanctuary surrounded by high walls and guarded by watchful eyes. The air was warmer here, filled with the scent of pine and earth. The mother's heart pounded with a mix of exhaustion and hope. After so many nights of fear and running, this place felt like a promise, a chance to breathe, to heal. As they entered the gates, guards greeted them with cautious nods. The mother clutched her child close, feeling his small hand tighten around her finger. He was still weak, but the warmth of this place already seemed to fill him with new strength. Inside, people moved with purpose. Children played quietly in safe courtyards, and families shared meals by fires. The mother's eyes filled with tears. This was life again, but the stranger's face remained serious. "The darkness follows us," he warned softly. "This refuge is safe, but only if we remain vigilant." The mother nodded. She knew the fight was far from over. Her child's survival was a miracle, but the world outside was still full of shadows. Over the next days, the mother watched her child grow stronger. The warmth generator was no longer needed. His cheeks gained color and his eyes sparkled with life. She found a small community of survivors, people who had lost much but refused to give up. They shared stories of battles and hope, of scars and smiles. One evening, the stranger brought the mother aside. "There is something you should know," he said quietly. He spoke of a plan to rebuild, to gather more survivors and fight back against the darkness. A future where children could grow up without fear. "Will you join us?" he asked. The mother looked at her child sleeping peacefully nearby. She felt a fierce strength rise inside her, a strength born from love, loss, and hope. "Yes," she said firmly, "for him and for all of us." As the sun set behind the mountains, the refuge glowed softly, a beacon in the night. The darkness had not been defeated, but for the first time in a long time there was light, a new beginning. The mother held her child close, knowing that whatever came next, they would face it together. And somewhere deep inside, she whispered, a promise, that love and hope would always outshine the darkness.